Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are returning, for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Lisa Elvin-Staltari, a passionate traveler and genealogist. Over the last several years, I've been focusing my attention on this channel on different levels of genealogy, but particularly on the stories of les filles du roi, les filles mariées. And today we're doing les filles mariées. The filles mariées came before les filles du roi. They came to Quebec or New France between 1634 and 1662. And so their impact on Quebec is enormous because of the fact they came so early. Many of them came to places that were, just very primitive. And so if the filles du roi are the founding mothers, as I call them, then les filles mariées are the grandmothers, the founding grandmothers. Truly amazing set of women. And we will be exploring episode 123, another fille mariée for you to enjoy. But before we do that, a little housekeeping. Subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video if you could, because that helps get the word out about this particular video. And notify is it only if you want to make sure that you don't miss an episode. If you want to step up your commitment and support the business, if you will, of Have Roots Will Travel, I have memberships that offer perks, and all the way from 99 cents a month to $24.99 a month, and many of them can be used for different levels of genealogical research. At the $24.99 level, a lot of people are doing intense research and require my assistance. So there's perks about that. So you can read about that. And then at the 99-cent level, it's just kind of supporting the business, which I love as well. So all of that is helpful. And then we also have the super thanks, which is like a tip. And so I always say that, when I get one of these notifications that I got a tip, I'm like, yes. So appreciate that as well. And of course, there is on my website, Have Roots Will Travel, my PayPal button that is to donate to Have Roots Will Travel, either on a monthly basis or on a one-time. So all of that is so helpful to me as I build the business. So thank you ever so much for your support of me as a genealogist. And with that being said, let's get started and get to know our fille mariée of this episode. Today we're going to be looking at Les Filles Mariées, episode 123, Marie Fayet. And she comes to us from a viewer request. I did not have her in my file, so it's a pleasure to get to know Marie a little bit better. Let's get on with it. Marie was born in 1642 in Paris, France. Her parents were Etienne Fayet and Anne de Causse. Now, she would have been baptized in a church called l'Église Saint-Sauveur, and it was found on Saint-Sauveur Street and the corner of Saint-Denis. It no longer exists, but there is a plaque commemorating this very historic church, which dates back to 1216. It was actually completely demolished in 1687 with the hope of rebuilding it, but a little thing like the French Revolution interfered in the plan. Now, the area in Paris that she comes from is known as the deuxième arrondissement, the second arrondissement. The arrondissement means circle, and you can see the second right there on the map. It is also known as bourse, which is purse or wallet. This second arrondissement is one that is focused on business activities. There are several banking headquarters that are found here, as well as the former Paris Bourse, which is the stock exchange, the Paris Opera, the textile district, and the second arrondissement is the home of Grand Rex, the largest movie theater in Paris. I thought I'd throw that in. Absolutely beautiful arrondissement. He would arrive in New France in 1661, so she is one of the later filles mariées. The room that she selected and who selected her, his name was Nicolas Huot de Sénora, and he's born in 1631 in Auxerre, France. His parents were Laurent Huot and Aimé Bourbonnais, and he is from the region of France that you can see circled there, called Bourgogne-Franche-Comté, and the department is Yonne, and there are about 35,000 people that live there now. And the church that he would have been baptized in is a church called Saint-Loup. And it is definitely one that was built around the 13th century and definitely has withstood a lot. You can see how beautiful the town is here in the bottom picture. Auxerre story begins truly in ancient times as a Gallo-Roman settlement strategically positioned along a major trade route. By the 3rd century, imagine it's been going that long, it had grown into a provincial capital and became the seat of a bishopric, marking its early importance in religion and political affairs. During the Middle Ages, Auxerre flourished as a religious and commercial hub. It became known for its stunning architecture, including the Cathedral of Saint-Étienne and the Abbey of Saint-Germain, home to some of France's oldest murals. The city's medieval streets, lined with half-timbered houses, reflect that kind of charm today. And in the 15th century, Auxerre was officially integrated into the Kingdom of France. So it was a separate place, separate country, if you will. And it solidified, that kind of connection with France. The city also had a Jewish presence dating back to the 11th century, though the community faced multiple expulsions until the modern era. Today, Auxerre is a town of art and history, known for its well-preserved heritage, its scenic location along the Yonne River, and of course, its excellent Burgundy wine. Just amazing little place. I just love when I travel and I'm able to see these places. Maybe not in real time, but at least I'm virtually traveling. So absolutely astonishing little place that Nicolas is from. Now, I also want to mention that Nicolas is known as a natural child. So he was, Laurent and Aimé were not married. And so Nicolas would have been considered illegitimate. Nicolas would arrive in New France in 1658 as a master carpenter. So his services would have been in great demand. By 1661, he owned a piece of land. Really remarkable kind of journey he was on. And so they were married July 25th, 1662 at Quebec City. And the journey of Nicolas continues. I just had to create a whole page of his talents first and his professions. He became a bailiff, then finally a sergeant, and eventually became a real estate buyer and seller. Just amazing. A sergeant in the administration of a seigneurie had both administrative and enforcement duties, acting as an intermediary between the seigneur and the habitants, the settlers. His role combined elements of law enforcement, record keeping, and local government. So really and truly, he kind of created this home and really built a connection to the place. The family would eventually settle at Neuville, which is a small village on the north shore of the St. Lawrence River, just west of Quebec City. It was founded officially in 1684, but it began in 1653 as an area granted as a seigneurie by Jean de Lauzon to Jean Bourdon de Saint-Jean, who gave it to his son, Jean-François Bourdon de Dombourg. And that is why, for example, in some paperwork, you'll see the town called Dombourg, because at the beginning, that's what it was called. Eventually, in 1680, the Dombourg seigneurie was acquired by Nicolas Dupont de Neuville, and thereafter it was known as Neuville. By 1679, the Saint François de Sales parish was formed, and it became an actual civil parish in 1684, hence that is its official founding. The place was also known as Pointe-aux-Trembles, or Pointe-aux-Trembles, in reference to the point on which the church was built, which was once covered with aspen and birch, which is the French name for tremble. Tremble means birch, and that is what the church was built upon. Now, in the 1666 census, we have Nicolas and Marie, and we also see he's a huissier, that means bailiff, and we have Marie, Marguerite, Marie, and Joseph René. So they have enough means that they actually have a domestic servant. In the 1667 census, we have Nicolas and Marie, Marguerite, Marie, and there's Joseph Renew again, and they have 2 beasts. No thought of land at this point. Eventually, they would settle once again in a new place called La Pocatiere. La Pocatiere's roots trace back to 1672, when François Paulet de la Combe Pocatiere received the seigneurie of Grande-Anse from his father-in-law, Nicolas Juchereau. Over time, this land developed into Sainte-Anne-de-la-Pocatiere before eventually becoming the town we know today. One of La Pocatiere's defining characteristics is its strong tradition of education. In 1827, the Collège de Sainte-Anne-de-la-Pocatiere was founded, followed by Canada's first permanent agricultural school in 1859. Today, this institution continues as the Institut de Technologie Agroalimentaire du Québec, which makes La Pocatiere a leader in agricultural education. In 1961, it became home to the motor ski snowmobile factory, which later transitioned into a rail car manufacturing plant under Bombardier in 1971. Although it's a small town, La Pocatiere balances really rural charm with modern opportunities. It continues to be a hub for education, for industry, and agriculture, and it offers both that rich historical heritage and a dynamic present. And now the church that I saw, I couldn't really, I'm like, well, that's kind of an odd looking church, but it is the 8th one since the founding of the town or the beginnings of it. And this actual church was built in 1969, so that explains that kind of feeling it has. Because I was looking at it and I was like, well, that wasn't a church that was built in 1678 or anything like that. So yes, they have constantly remade their church. So I think that's kind of a testament to La Pocatiere. In this map, you will actually see this is where Nicolas and Marie were settled. They are there. This map can be found on the internet. I'm going to try to put the link to that map so all of you can download it for yourselves. And really and truly a remarkable little town. It's a little town that could. They would go on to have 11 children. Jeanne would pass away in infancy. Marguerite would marry Jean-Nicolas Durand and would have 4 children, all of whom would survive. Marianne would marry Jean Pelletier and would have 8 children, 6 of whom made it to adulthood. Geneviève married Pierre Mériot and would have 1 child who made it to adulthood. Madeleine married Michel Boucher and would have 8 children, only 1 survived. Charlotte would marry Jean-Baptiste Vaillancourt and would have 1 child who would survive before his early death. She then married Charles Rognon and had 4 children, 1 of whom survived. Charles' mother was Marguerite Namé, a fille du roi, whom we profiled in episode 290, and I've provided the link for you. Laurent would marry Marie-Françoise Feveron and would have 4 children, all of whom would make it. He then married Joseph Cadoret and would have 3 children, all of whom made it. Now, Joseph would marry Geneviève Cochon and would have 10 children, 5 of whom would make it. Nicolas would marry Marie-Louise Ayotte and have 1 child who did survive before his early death at 33. Marie-Françoise married Jacques Genet and had 7 children, 2 of whom would survive before her early death at 32. Jacques' mother was a fille du roi, Catherine de Ribot, whom we have not yet profiled. Ignace François died in infancy. Now, in the 1681 census, we have Nicolas Huot, Marie Fayet, Marie, Geneviève, Laurent, Joseph, Nicolas, Françoise. They have 1 gun, 6 bêtes-à-cornes, which are like 6 goats or 6 horned animals, and 7 arpents malins, about 5 acres of land. Unfortunately, Nicolas would pass away sometime between 1690 and 1694. He would be between the ages of 61 and 6, and he and Marie would have been married about 30 years. It's always sad, though, when they, even at 61, that's fairly young, even at that period. Marie would carry on, and she would live another 23 years. She would pass away in 1713 at the age of 71. And she would leave us, as of 1729, 99 descendants. God bless her. And for further information, you can actually find a biography of Nicolas Huot in the Our French Canadian Ancestors, volume 29. And I have posted the link to the Facebook group that permits you to download these particular profiles. If you can find this on eBay or in a library, that would be great as well. Very, very rare book series, but it does come up. Some of my subscribers have told me they have purchased it. So I know it's still out there, but getting harder and harder to find. So definitely check out the Facebook group so that you can have a look at the files they have for you. And I stumbled across this little bit of information. Louise Saint Laurent was the 12th Prime Minister of Canada and a direct descendant of this couple. Just amazing. This story was particularly interesting for me to do because it allowed me to explore a brand new area in Quebec that I had yet to explore, La Pocatiere. I mean, I know La Pocatiere, but in terms of these videos, it's the very first one where I had a couple actually living there. So I appreciate that. And appreciate the fact that I got to research a little bit more. And I truly, an amazing couple in terms of their longevity and all that he brought, and that she was a helpmate to him as well. It's just an amazing. And the fact that, centuries later, we have the Prime Minister of Canada as a direct grandson. So that's pretty amazing. So we absolutely thank her for her bravery, for her courage, for coming across to the new world, and for being able to not only marry a man, but be his partner, his support system, and be pioneers in places that no one else so far that we have seen has gone. So I really, really appreciate her tenacity and her willingness to bravely go where no one has gone before. And I also want to say thank you to my patrons and supporters and subscribers. You truly are an amazing gift to me. So thank you ever so much from the bottom of my heart. And with that being said, I will see you on the next episode of Les Filles Mariées, episode 124, I believe. Until then, au revoir.